Do my little sound check. There we go. Let me tell you, when the Wi-Fi or whatever it is that be happening, it makes my little mess up my whole little schedule. And let me tell you, I am not a fan of not being able to follow through on my schedule. Okay, so how annoying, but it's fine. We're here and we're grateful for it. Okay. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Before we even jump in, I just want to, first of all, has anybody seen Queens? It's the special on ABC and it's also on Hulu, featuring Eve, Brandy, and then there's two other actresses. I can't remember their names. But it's basically like a show about women who were artists and they had a really hit song back in the 90s, and then they resurfaced 20 years later and they have a chance to shine together and regroup. Queens, really good on Hulu. I just want to talk about that while we wait for folks to come in. So if you've seen Queens, give me a yes. Give me I watched it. Give me a it's on the list. But it's really good so far. I love Eve. I'm a huge fan of her. So it's really cool to see her like in that light and being able to rap and do her thing, but also act and see both sides of that. So I just want to check in with y'all, see how if you've seen Queens or not. But we're gonna go ahead and get started into our normal segment. So before we jump in, we do always do our deep breaths, getting grounded, coming together, and having some time to just check in. That's what the midday check in is all about. So, if you will, as long as you're not driving, make sure you're in a safe place. Take some time to breathe with me. We're just going to take a few deep breaths together. So, if you will, exhale everything out. And we're going to inhale, holding at the top, and release. This time, when you inhale, I want you to see the color blue for calm, for tranquility, for inner harmony. And release the color red for any anxieties or worries that you may be holding on to. Again, breathing in the color blue for tranquility, inner harmony, peace, and calm. And releasing the color red for any anxieties, negative self talk, negative self doubt that you may be holding on to. All right. Think about how you feel. Tune into how you're feeling right now. In one word, how do you feel? How do you feel? I feel grounded. I always like doing those deep breaths because I really feel like they're super helpful to just help you become present in the moment, and really like coming back to self, because it's so easy to get lost in everything that's going on around you. So, with that being said, welcome to the midday chat, y'all. What's poppin'? We're here in the midday chat to talk all things self love. Okay, self love. The name of the show is Queen, my love. The name of the show is Queen, and you are feeling space. Yes, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Let's go, Asha. The name of the show is Queens. Really good. It's really good so far. I like it. I think it's cute. It's a little corny, but it's cute. It's cute. So yes, welcome to the midday chat. This is your place to check in with yourself, to love on yourself, and to give yourself the time to just, what am I doing? What's going on with me? How do I feel? And we talk about all different themes. Today's theme is very special in my heart because it's something that I'm going through right now. But we will get to that. I love to start off our conversations by breaking the ice because it's just a time for us to get to know each other a little bit. Even though I know you, girl, but it gives us a chance to get to know each other a little bit and just to tune in, and break that ice because this conversation is two-way. It's not just me, it's both of us. Okay, it's all of us. All right. So the icebreaker is, and Asha, I actually got this from you. I'm looking for it here in my script, but I actually got this from one of the posts that you did a couple of days. It was like last week, I think. But here it is. What is your go-to drink? What is your go-to drink? My go-to drink is the old fashioned. That's what I usually go for. Oh my God. I remember one time I went to it was like this jumpy place we took my bonus daughter to so she can like jump around on trampolines and stuff. And they had I asked for an old fashioned, but they gave me not an old fashioned. I don't know what it was. It was like grenadine in it. It tasted like syrup. I was like, this is not an old fashioned, sis. I'm not a bartender for real. I'm only a play bartender, but I know this ain't no old fashioned. So I was kind of upset about that. But what's your go to drink? I love me an old fashioned because I love whiskey and I love how strong it is. So it doesn't take much. My boyfriend is similar. He doesn't like old fashioned, but he'll go for what is it called? Long Island, because he likes to get the job done right away. So I thought that was really funny. It's funny for him to do that because he's like one and done. I'm good, but he'll have a few of them. I ain't even gonna lie, but let me not put his business out there. You're a Captain Morgan and Coke girl or ginger ale. Yes, you like you a highball. Okay, you like you a highball. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Super love that. I super love that. All right, let's introduce this topic today. Okay, today we are talking about self doubt. All right, this one again is close to the heart because I've been experiencing this a lot, especially over the past few days as I'm stepping into new roles in my life and things are coming up. It's making me feel like, am I capable of being able to do this? Can I handle this? There's so many things that go on in our life where like you are completely capable of achieving and accomplishing or handling, but you may tell yourself otherwise. So a few weeks back, we actually had the conversation about the inner critic, and that plays into this conversation because when you have that self doubt, there's something inside of your mind telling you that, like telling you, like I can't do this, I'm not capable of that, I'm not able to do this. But you have to be able to talk yourself into believing that you can achieve it. And that right there can be difficult, but it is possible. Jumping back to the icebreaker, one day I might have to tell you my Long Island iced tea story. I'm here for it. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to be asking you about that. I want to hear it because I know them things don't play. It's every type of liquor in there. Like every time, like tequila is whiskey, is vodka, all the liquors are all in that drink. So whenever he orders it, I'm like, your ass crazy. But yes, I would love to hear that story one day, Asha. That sounds super dope. But yeah, so I want to talk about this because, like I said, it's something that's fresh on my mind, and I know, I feel like we're in a time now where a lot of us are transitioning. We're taking on new things into our lives that we feel strong and passionately about, and we want to be able to go in and really go for it. But there's something that's holding us back, and a lot of times that inner critic has a lot to do with that. That's holding you back. But where does that self doubt even come from? Where does that come from? For me, I'm still diving into it. I'm still digesting it and figuring out what that means for me. But I know a lot of it comes from the idea of having to be a perfectionist, like that needing everything to come out perfect in order to keep going or in order to do something. And that in my head is like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be perfect. Then I'm gonna suck at it. I'm not gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. And be that. So it stems from that, and like being able to tap in and figure out what is it exactly, what is that belief that I'm having about myself or, my capabilities, my self-esteem that's making me feel like I'm incapable, that's making me feel that imposter syndrome. So there's a few things that I want to talk about. There's an article here first that I want to touch on. You guys know I love me some psychology today. That's my thing. So there's this article. It's called Two Steps for Transforming Self-Doubt into Self-Confidence. So there were a few options I had here when I was looking at different articles to talk about, but I thought this one was really good because it doesn't just say like, here are 6 ways to help you stop self-doubting, or here are, 6 ways that you're doubting yourself, but that's not solution based. I wanted this conversation to be solution based, which is why I pulled this article. So 2 steps for transforming self-doubt into self-confidence. So I just want to talk about a few of these points. Let me read this first sentence. Stop the negative self-talk. That's the first thing that we talked about, right? Negative self-talk is the inner critical voice that berates you and says harsh critical things that you would never dare say to anyone else. Like, I am such an idiot. I'm a phony. I never do anything right. I will never succeed. This is literally the conversation I had in therapy recently, where it was like my therapist was asking me, like, would you talk to yourself, like would you talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself? How would you cheer, how would you encourage your best friend? That's how you need to talk to yourself. Asha says it's crazy because it's like, in order to defeat self-doubt, you have to prove yourself right and wrong at the same time. First of all, I can hear you saying, like, I can hear your voice saying that. So, like, that just got me excited because I miss you. But yeah, it's like you have to prove yourself right and wrong at the same time. Exactly. Oh my God, it can be so confusing because you're like, on one hand, you're like, no, I can do this, right? I can do this. But at the same time, you're like, wait, but I am doubting myself. But like it's definitely a war, and a lot of you have to kind of combat yourself in a sense, like, and it's a consistent thing because the self-talk doesn't stop. It's on replay. It's on replay. I recently started this new activity again from therapy. Man, shout out to my therapist because she's dope for helping me bring this together in my mind and out of my mind so that I understand myself a lot better and I'm able to kind of maneuver and cope through life a little bit easier. But she gave me this exercise called the worry jar. I wanted to bring it over here, but I forgot it's sitting over there. But I have this little mason jar, and I have these little strips of paper that I write on every day. I write out any thoughts, like worries that I have. So I'll give you an example. The other day I woke up. I like to get up kind of sort of early because I'm a morning person. So I get up in the morning and I'm getting myself together to head out to the gym. And I literally had all my stuff, had everything, had my keys. I'm walking out the door and my stomach just started cramping terribly. Like, it stopped me in my tracks. I had to literally stop and figure out what was going on in my body. Like, why? I mean, it was definitely because my period was coming, but it was a different type of, I've never had that intense of a feeling with cramps before. It's never been like that intense before. So my boyfriend came out the room and he's like, maybe you should like sit down. Cause I was like, well, I'm gonna just wait and then I'm gonna go to the gym because in my mind, I always have to be moving. I always have to go, 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 busy bee. So when he told me to sit down, I'm like, man, resistance. I don't want to. I want to go to the gym. I want to work out. I got to choreograph. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to move, 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 busy bee. But I wound up listening to him. I went ahead and laid down because I couldn't move. So why would I go to the gym? So I laid down and I decided, like, maybe this is my body telling me to take the day off because I go, go, go all the time. And I do take time for self care, but I feel like I don't take enough time. I take just enough. I'll take just enough time. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna take this whole day off today because I had worked the Sunday before. So I just laid down on the couch and I watched TV all day. And maybe around like 1, I was like, oh, I haven't written anything in my worry jar. But remember, this negative self-talk dialogue, it's not stopping, it's still going, even when you're not paying attention. So I'm laying down, I'm starting to feel all shitty about myself and like, why am I feeling so crappy? I'm like, you know what? Let me get my worry jar. So I grabbed my worry jar. And let me tell you, the amount of times that I wrote I am not enough, I'm not doing enough in that word jar that day was immaculate because I told myself to sit down. And what I realized is that I am equating being busy with being enough. So if I'm always on the move, that means that I'm worthy. That means that I deserve and I have more confidence. But that's not the truth because we talk about this all the time. You're worthy because you were born. It's your birthright, right? So clearly that's I know that, but my subconscious isn't programmed to believe that yet. So it's still programmed to believe that I'm not enough. How many times have you told yourself like things that aren't true, but deep down you still have that belief? It's such a difficult thing to change that negative self-talk because you're so used to being in a certain place, and now it's like, oh, actually I do believe in myself and I need to act like it. So have you ever doubted yourself before? Think back to a time, like it could be big or small. Sometimes you doubt yourself about little things like, man, I can't handle I can't handle going to the grocery store and cooking today because I got this, and this going on, but you gotta eat. So, and you do eat, you wind up eating, right? So you could handle it. Or it could be something big, like, man, I have a new position that I'm about to take on. I can't handle this position. I got this, and this that's telling me that I can't do it. But really, you also have this, and this that's telling you that you can handle it because you've done it before. Okay. So that negative self talk, though it's running rampant in the background of your mind all the time, you have to remind yourself that you are capable of doing whatever it is that you desire to do. You deserve and you are enough because you were born, babe. Okay. And I'm telling myself this as well. This is not something that I'm preaching just to you. Like, I have to tell myself this. It's both, it's all of us. We in this together. Okay. I should say it's so difficult to change, but the doubt has to go because I got shit to do. You know what? That reminds me of my sister Tam. She literally said something very similar. I love how you spelled that too. She said something very similar. We had a conversation about perfectionism and how being a former athlete, especially a gymnast, makes it really difficult after life, like after you're done, to integrate into life without having the need to be perfect. Having that mindset that you have to be perfect at everything you do. She said she had a situation with a friend at school where they asked her a question. She didn't understand the question fully, so she answered it, but it wasn't the right answer because she didn't understand the question fully. So when she sat down, she realized, oh, this is what she was asking me. And then she started going through her head like, oh man, is she going to think I'm stupid because I answered it that way? Am I going to get in trouble for not answering it right? And giving her, she's like, did she think I had sarcasm with that? Like, and she had all these different like self-doubt, negative talk in her head that was going on. And she stopped herself. She was like, I don't got time for this shit. I got other stuff to do. I got other stuff to do. She's in whole PhDs, like getting her PhD. She's in whole doctorate school. How does she have time for self doubt talk? You don't have time for that. You got papers to write. You know what I'm saying, Asha? You got things to do, boo. You don't have time for the negative self talk. Same here. I don't have time. I got businesses to build, things to do. We don't have time for the negative self talk. All right. So I want to go back to this article and I want to read something that will help us combat this inner critic. So it says here, the next thing you want to do is talk back to it. So first, I'm sorry, I skipped something. First is notice it. And we just talked about that with the worry jar. You want to notice what you're, the self-talk that you're saying to yourself. And that is a way to um, see what you're saying, notice what you're saying without judging it. Because if you just notice it and you shove it back down and you're like, oh no, that's not true, then you're not giving yourself the attention that you fully need. Because though the inner critic is like spewing negative self-talk to you, it's still a part of you. Though it may be formed from other influences around you, it's still a part of you. And ultimately, what it's trying to do, because what fear does, is it's trying to protect you. It goes back to when we were, before we were at the place that we're at 2021, back when Earth, you had to go out and hunt for your food and be hunters and gatherers. That fear was to protect you literally from living to live so that you wouldn't go out and do something silly and die. So the brain is still formatted like that. But if you notice it without judgment, because all it's trying to do is protect you, that's the first step, is noticing it without judgment. Okay. Then you want to talk back to it. And this is going back to saying, like, proving to yourself, talking to yourself, and proving to yourself that you deserve to feel good about whatever it is you're doing. You deserve and you do have capabilities to achieve what you want to achieve. Tell your inner critic to be quiet. Tell your inner critic that you have decided not to listen to it any longer and that you are working on being kinder to yourself. Every time you do this, you gain a little more power. Okay. I agree with this, but I also at the same time, like, you do have to tell it to be quiet, but you also, like, it's telling you something. So for me, like, for example, a lot of the times recently, my worries have been circulating around this, like where I'm living, my living situation. I don't like my apartment anymore. It was an amazing transitional space, but I have outgrown this place, honey. And so a lot of my worries now are, I don't like this apartment. It's not allowing me to creatively thrive. I can't experience the outdoors the way that I want to experience the outdoors because of where I'm located. And I have all these different thoughts that are where like I put in my worry jar, literally. But at the same time, though those thoughts are, they cause negative emotions, at the same time, those thoughts are telling me something. They're telling me it's time to move. It's time to get yourself in gear and get into a place that you feel like you can thrive in. So yes, you do want to be like, okay, like that's enough, inner critic. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I hear you. I hear you, and this is what I'm doing to combat that. Okay. So it's finding a happy medium. Like you were saying earlier, Asha, it's like it's a battle. It's definitely a battle. Troy just had the same conversation with me today. Listen and have the conversation with your feelings so you can understand and plan the response. Yes, 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 yes. I completely agree with this. Exactly. So difficult to change, but the doubt has to go because you got shit to do. Oh, this is old. But yes, or you did this. I shared this one already. But yes. So, you have to have that conversation with yourself and sort out those feelings, because if you don't and you just shove it back down, it's still there. You're just ignoring it. And what good is that gonna do? Right. So moving into the next step here in this article, it says start proactively looking for reasons you can trust yourself. Ooh. Let me read that again. Start proactively looking for reasons that you can trust yourself. Yes. So when it comes to doubting yourself about, let's have an example. So I just accepted, and I'm going to give you guys this news. I just accepted a new position working with a company that I've been with for years. I'll be managing the dance classes out here, Diva Dance. I'll be the new manager here, and I literally just accepted this. And this had a lot to do with the self-doubt that's been going on in my brain. But proactively telling myself, like, I've worked with this company for 3 years. I've taught for this company in 3 different markets. I have experience with client expert experience. I have this, I have that. So like telling myself, like, these are the reasons why you can trust yourself with this position. And it's the same for you. Like, say your goal is to for me, and another goal to lose weight, to get back in shape the way that I was in shape in New York. So that's another one of your goals, is to lose weight. If you've done it before, I've done this before. I've lost weight before. I've paid attention to my health before, and I've done well with it. I have people around me who can help me stay on track and help me be accountable. Prove to yourself why you can trust yourself, right? Build up evidence. That's another activity I've been doing in therapy, is building up that evidence and proving to myself, like, oh, actually, I've done this, and I'm capable of achieving what I desire and what I want to go for. So let's read a few of these sentences here. Whether you realize it or not, you are viewing the world through a lens that is uniquely your own. We all have a cognitive filter through which we process events and information. Once you start to see your filter, once you start to see your filter, it's sort of like wearing a pair of sunglasses that you forgot you had on. Then you take them off and realize this isn't really that color. Or when you wear glasses, and this happens to me all the time because I'm always taking my glasses off and touching them. But when you wear glasses, and you touch them and you put them on your face and you're fixing them, blah, blah, blah. And then they start getting fingerprints on them. Or you're walking outside and it's springtime in Georgia, and so there's green pollen everywhere. Something that I just experienced for the first time last year. And there's green pollen everywhere, and it gets on your glasses. Now your glasses have a different filter on them, right? They're dirty because of all these experiences that you've been through. So now you're seeing things differently. But it's not until you take your glasses off and you're like, oh shit, these are dirty. Let me clean them. Let me clean them. And that's you looking at your negative self-talk and saying, oh, I'm talking to myself real crazy right now. Let's adjust this, right? And once you're able to do that, then you can put the glasses back on, and now it's a more clear filter for you, right? And I like this example too. It's like you're wearing sunglasses, but you forget you have them on. When you take them off, things look different, right? So I really, really like that. I like this too. The process of negative self-talk and negative filtering causes you to create a self-concept of self-doubt and never feeling good. Ooh, create a self-concept. Can you imagine building your identity around doubting yourself? And I feel like I've done this and I'm moving out of it now. I'm like slowly getting myself out of that now. But creating a self concept around doubting yourself can be tough to get out of that, and it's easier for those negative self talk, for those statements to run in the back of your head without you realizing it, right? So that's why that's so important. Yes, you feel me, and thank you. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to tell you more. Ooh, yeah, it's really exciting. But yeah, so it's really important to trust that you're capable of doing this and not creating a self-concept that you are incapable, right? Because it's just not true. It's just not true. So the next thing I want to do is I have a video here that I want to show. And as she talks, I'm just gonna take little breaks and point out a few things. So let's listen to what she has to say. This is called Eliminate Self-Doubt. Tap Your Root Response by Melissa Root.
So what if you had no self-doubt? What could you achieve in life? The biggest obstacle to success is your own self-doubt. Think about how many things you haven't tried in life because you were unsure of the outcomes. Or perhaps you've tried them but haven't succeeded yet because there's something about it that made you nervous. What if I can't do it? What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? Right? I want you to think about one thing that makes you nervous in life, something you haven't tried yet. And keep that in mind as I talk today. Because I'm going to tell you about a technique with nearly 50 years of research that is proven to bypass your self-doubt and let you succeed. And the best part is you can go home today and take the cell phone that's in your pocket and complete this technique on your own. The technique is called video self-modeling. And you probably haven't heard about it because until that cell phone in your pocket was developed, it used to take a lot of very expensive equipment to complete video self-modeling. And so only researchers who could get grants could do video self-modeling. My doctoral advisor, Tom Kale, happened to have such a grant. And to put the technology piece in perspective for you, this was the cutting-edge cell phone that my brother gave to me in the 90s when I learned video self-modeling. So we've come a pretty long way in a short period of time. Far enough that it is time now for everybody to start using video self-modeling because the effects are so powerful. So what is video self-modeling? Well, I'm going to give you a few key components of it. The first component is that the videos are short. They're only about 30 seconds to a couple of minutes long, so they don't take a lot of your time. The second is that the videos show you yourself performing whatever behavior it is you want to be able to do in real life. And the third and probably most important component is the videos are edited, so you are only looking good on that video. We take out all errors, so the videos are not used to shame you and say, look at how stupid you looked when you did that. They're used to show your brain exactly what to do so that you can succeed. It works on so many different behaviors. It works on stuttering, anxiety, depression, public speaking skills, reading fluency.
So showing you what to do so that you can succeed. That's super important. I feel like we've talked about this before, but I want to give another little example activity. We've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. So look around the room, and I want you to find everything around the room that is pink. Pink, only pink, pink. Look for pink. You looking for pink. Look for pink. You're looking for pink. Only pink. Count them out. How many pinks can you count? Count them out. How many pinks? I don't know. Okay, close your eyes. And I want you to say how or think how many things you saw that were green. Open your eyes. You probably can barely name one. You probably couldn't even say one thing that was pink, green, because your focus was on pink. So imagine if your focus is the color pink is self-doubt, right? That's basically what she's saying. It's like you are only going to be focusing on the good, on the confident side of you. Because if you focus on that negative self-talk and that self-doubt, just like those thoughts that are playing in the back of your head over and over and over again, if that's all you're focused on and thinking about, that's all you're going to see. So that's why she's saying this. So let's go on.
The list goes on and on and on. Almost any behavior you can show on film, we can use video self-modeling for. So how does it work? Well, it works by showing you yourself as the model to learn from without errors. Albert Bandura was the first to identify that humans learn by watching others. And the more similar that other person is to us, the more likely we are to model their behavior. So I came up with this example for you to understand what I mean by that. You may recognize this very famous singer, Justin Bieber. This was from
So that's another point. You model the people who you see. Have you ever heard the phrase, you are the 5 closest people around you, you're the sum of them? When you are around, uplifting, confident, strong, understanding, compassionate people, that's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to model, because that's what you see. You model what you see. But if you are around people who are self-deprecating, who are telling you can't do it, who are not about go ahead. Thank you, Asha, for tuning in. I appreciate you, girl. I'll see you next time. Mwah. If you are around people who are telling you can't achieve your goals, you can't do, what you want, that's what you're going to believe. So modeling, having the people around you to model you are super important. Bye, boo. Super, super important. So let's jump back in.
2010. He had a funny looking hairdo, but he was very successful. This is my son, also in 2010. I guarantee you the adults around him did not have that hairdo. But he modeled himself after somebody that he perceived to be similar to himself who was successful. Okay, so we learn by modeling others. The more similar they are to us, the more likely we are to model the behavior. So you yourself are the perfect model for yourself. So video self-modeling can work on so many different behaviors. And so what happens is when your brain sees yourself performing well, you have a natural root response to be able to perform in real life. Video self-modeling is not the only technique that taps your root response. Guided imagery and mirror therapy also tap your root response, but
when you see yourself performing well, you have a natural response to perform well in life. This even goes into another little mental skills training thing that I used to do with my gymnasts and my dancers, with visualizing yourself achieving what it is you want to achieve, visualizing yourself doing the tasks you need to do with confidence and accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. All right, let's jump back in.
Today we're going to focus on video self-modeling because it's the one that you can complete on your own. So I started a company about a year ago. I left my role as a professor to start my own company to spread use of video self-modeling because I thought it was so important. I firmly believe humans are capable of so much more if we start using video to learn good goal behaviors. So part of what I do is I go out in school systems and different programs and I train people how to do video self-modeling. So I'm going to share with you some examples of what my trainees have been able to accomplish. And the reason I do the training is so that the spread can go so much further because I want to spread video self-modeling worldwide. So this is data from a little boy who was trying to learn how to pedal his tricycle. He'd been working with a physical therapist all last fall.
I'm gonna skip a little bit because I'm gonna skip the stats just a little bit. Skip the stats. Though the stats are important. All right.
So this next piece, I'm going to show you a video that was created for a young boy who had never eaten more than 4 foods. Very specific behaviors about foods. They had tried lots of different techniques without success to get him to eat more foods. So these are actual clips with some descriptions in there so you can understand what's going on.
I love that. That's too cute. So this idea of seeing yourself doing something, helping, it literally helps you build up your confidence because you see yourself doing it. I love this. I've never heard of this before until I was preparing for this live today, but I think this is a super dope technique that anybody can use. Just like showing yourself that you can achieve something, even if it's like tricking your brain. And that's really what visualization is tricking your brain, because your brain doesn't know the difference between a visualization and real life. Especially when you do it well, when you're trained to do it well. Your brain will not know the difference if you're visualizing that you're accomplishing a new goal or you're actually doing it. And then the more you do it, the more your brain's going to be like, okay, well, we've done this a lot now. We believe that we can do it, even if it was visualization. Then you're going to be able to accomplish that. Okay, let's watch a little bit more of this before we wrap up.
So he now on his own willingly requests foods. He's eating chicken, beans, peaches. He's getting all different kinds of nutrition he'd never had before from a simple short video. And you can see it is not Hollywood style footage. You yourself can do this. So what I'm trying to do is also spread video self-modeling beyond working with people with more extreme challenges to more general global behaviors. So I've begun working with people working on learning healthy behaviors. Oprah Winfrey has famously shared about her challenges with the ups and downs of maintaining healthy behaviors. She's been involved in lots of programs. Imagine the consistency she could get if she used video self-modeling. And I stand here today telling you I know she could get that consistency because I've been supporting Weight Watchers clients up in Maine. And I've been supporting them in adhering to their program. And I just got data this week that I didn't have time to put into the slides because they were due last week. But they are losing 35 pounds, 55 pounds. They are staying with their program. And when they do go off their program a little bit, they're coming back to it because they're reporting to me they have the images in their heads. Even if they're not currently watching their videos, they have those images in their heads. They're coming back to it. So Oprah, feel free.
Wow. Yeah, that's super dope. Super dope. I've never heard of that type of technique before, but I think that's really, really, really dope. It's like taking visualizations and putting it out physically so that you can physically see it. So I love that. I think that, that's definitely something that I would like to try is, watching myself accomplish something so that I can see that I'm able to do it, trick my brain into fully believing it because it's true. So I want to go ahead and give you guys your journal prompt for today. And I want to share a little bit of mine journal prompt that I did that has been helping me become more confident in myself. So let me pull this up. All right. The journal prompt is, what will I do with confidence today? So this is perfect to do in the morning when you're waking up. What will you do with confidence? Okay, so I just filled out this journal prompts yesterday, and I actually have it right here with me, and I want to read some snippets here for you just to encourage you to really, like, these journaling prompts are very helpful. Like they're helping you get stuff out of your brain onto paper so that you can process them and really like learn from these midday check-ins. These are like classes, y'all. And hey, believe me, they're not going to be on the Facebook group all the time. They're going to eventually come down. So enjoy these while they're here. But it's really helpful to sit down and like journal out your thoughts and really process them. So I'm going to read what I wrote. Today, I will speak with confidence, speak to myself and others with an unshakable confidence. When I have self doubt, I will write it out into my worry jar and then replace it with a more confident thought. By speaking in confidence, I am reclaiming my power. Ooh, and it's nice to like go back and read what you've written too. But I am reclaiming my power. I allow myself to be courageous and trust that everything is working out for my highest and greatest good. Yes, Ashe, past Chantel. Ashe. Let's see, where am I? I believe in myself and I know I have the talents and gifts to do whatever it is my heart's desire. And that's true for you too, boo. Again, if you're just coming in, I'm reading out my journal prompt from this, and I'm encouraging and inspiring you to do the same. I will allow myself to speak about my goals, my visions, and my story with confidence and courage. I recognize the strength within me, which strengthens my confidence. All right. So really like dive in when you're doing this journaling prompt in the morning time, especially, and then live to it, like live in it throughout the day, like walk in it. If you say you're going to be confident about something, be confident about it. Move in that confidence, because first sometimes you have to pretend like you fully believe it before you do. Sometimes you have to move like you believe it before your brain is like, oh, okay, we're doing this shit. Okay, let's do it. You just have to jump in there and get it. You have to set that standard for yourself. All right. So that's what we're doing here. We're setting the standard for ourselves. Something else I did was I wrote out the thought that kind of repels my confidence, which is I'm not capable or I'm not enough. And then I wrote out evidence proving that I am enough and I am capable. And I wrote, I have done so many amazing things in my life, from being an above average student to receiving full ride scholarship. I have accomplished so many goals after setting them, and I've made so many vision boards come to light. My belief in myself has gotten stronger with my relationship with divine. All right. So really like be vulnerable with yourself in this journal prompt, because it's ultimately going to help you become more confident in yourself and move as though you really have that, because you do. All right. Even if you don't believe it right away, you got it. What's that song? You got it. I don't know if it's Fabulous or Neo. I don't know what song it is I'm thinking about, but you got it. You got the juice, babe. You got the juice. So I want you to believe that. I want you to move like you do. And I want you to trust that everything that you're doing right now is moving you in the right direction. Even when you don't fully trust that you're capable, you have to move like you are until you fully believe it, because you are capable and you are enough because you were born. Period. Okay. So with that being said, make sure you take a screenshot of this journaling prompt so that we can talk about it, and you can journal and take some time to reflect. But I appreciate you so very much. Thank you so much for tuning in to our midday chat with your girl, Chantel Sarita, your eclectic self-love coach. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday, same time, same place. Also, check us out in the Self-Love Celebration, which is happening Sunday, November 14th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're adding in some new time slots too. So if that's too early for you, boo, keep a lookout, because we will be joining in the afternoon as well and in the evening, but keep your eyes on that, okay? So again, thank y'all so much. Love on yourself, trust yourself, be confident in yourself, because you are capable, you are able, all of those things. All right? Until next time, y'all. Bye.